On the seedings, Neil, you would say Poland should be the favourites. They're the 6th seed. Kuwait number 27, but do not underestimate the Kuwaitis.
No, like you say, Phil, I mean, my opinion is there's not really any favourites in the first round in any match. I mean, of course, there's a couple of countries that are lacking some experience, but these guys have all played international events, World Championships, US Opens, Matchroom events, and if the corner ball starts flying in on the break, for me, it's pretty much an even match. So the lag is already pretty big. Fortuński and Szewczyk, they're very strong European players, and if they get a couple of good breaks going, it can swing one way pretty fast.
The only surefire winner is if you get Szewczyk on a triple word score playing Scrabble.
Well, Abdullah Awadhi's he's right behind him.
Track number 1, Poland to break.
And it is Wojciech Szewczyk to break off.
Nice break there. Good solid contact. Interesting thing is what these balls here in the bottom are going to do. I don't think he has a shot on the 2. We'll have to see it from a different camera angle. This 2 starts moving back and forth. 8 hits the 3. So the 3's down there. I don't think it passes the 8, the 2 ball. So he has to start looking at a tactical decision here. Try to play some sort of safety. He could send the 2 all the way back into the direction of the pink 4 ball, a couple of rails, and use that green 6 ball to hide behind. So this would be 2 or 3 rails all the way down table. Oh, interesting that he drew it behind the 6 there. I thought he could stop it. And that left an opening for the other team, Kuwait.
Yeah, he's missed a trick there. That seemed quite a stock shot.
Yeah, perhaps he had to spin it a little bit, Phil. And it could be that his arm was a little bit tense. First match, you see a lot of players, including myself, that first game, first match, you just have to settle down. You have to feel the table, you have to feel the arena, the vibe. And it sometimes takes a few minutes or a few games to really settle down and get a better feel in the match. They're looking hard at this 2 ball. I believe he has to swerve around it a bit. And what's dangerous with this shot is that you can double hit it and you have no clue what's going to happen. He hit the right side, so that was good, but he made contact a little bit too thin, so the 2 got sent towards the 3 and they've left the combination on.
Awadhi, the lesser known of the players. Good start though.
Nice solid little shot. He has played a lot of events in the US. He's played the Derby City Classic a few times. He's competed in the World Championships. Bader. So he's not inexperienced. A lot of people don't know his name, but he's a smooth player, apparently a good singer. We got to stick to that one. If he wins, he's got to sing. That's what he said. Going 2 rails to the 6. I'm a little bit surprised about that one. Thought he could still go 1 rail up, and he left a tricky little shot here for Omar, who has to use a couple of rails now, cutting this 6 in, potentially going 2 or even 3 rails, side rail, side rail. Hard to judge. It's their first inning really at the table, and this will really tell the story of how fast these rails are playing to them. 1, 2, Hit it well. He judged it really well, actually. Cue ball lands in the middle of the table. Just rolling forward, getting under the 8. So Omar can just roll forward now or draw it. Yep, he's going to draw it to the same side of the 9. So both balls in the same pocket. And this looks like a comfortable little run out right out of the gate.
Indeed, a very encouraging start from Kuwait there. Shaheen and Awadhi. We shouldn't be too surprised because, as Niels said, they've got a lot of experience, particularly Omar Shaheen. Derby City Classic 9-ball runner-up in the past. Semi-finalist in the China Open. Last 16 of the World 9-ball Championship on 5 occasions.
Wow,
you must have crossed
strong
paths, Niels, down the years.
Yeah, we played Whirlpool Masters, I believe, a few years ago, first round. And he knocked me out. Thanks, Omar. Love it. No, good guy, funny guy too. I remember traveling with him once. Was at an airport with him, and he just left and he said, "Hey, can you watch my bag?" And he left for about 30 minutes. And it was a little bit like, what's going on with this bag? Finally, he did come back, boarded the plane, so I could relax a little bit again. But he's been around for a while. I remember seeing him at the US Open. This has to be over 10 years ago. What's his age, Phil?
Well, he's 28 now.
28, so he was still a teenager competing at the US Open back then. You could see he was a hungry player from the Middle East, a lot of drive. Kind of a pioneer for those guys.
Bracket number 2. Our current scores.
They practice hard
in favor of
the Middle
Kuwait.
East. A lot of good equipment, good pool rooms, driven players, good work ethics. And Omar's a good example for that. That's a nice results. Uses the cut break on that one. A little bit of left spin. 7-ball ends over the pocket there on the right. And a potential combination for Bader. Let's see here how deep this 7 is. That looks pretty inviting if you ask me. The key here, Phil, is what is this 1 gonna do? Because he has to take care of the cue ball a little bit. You see that purple 5-ball on the left? He has to negotiate that, go around it, and that could mean that the 1 has to be struck a little bit harder, and then the control of that 1 ball becomes a little bit more difficult. Almost made it, made a good shot. And here on these, the ball is deep in the pocket. And he's kind of diagonal on it. If he would be on the short rail, for example, it would be much easier to come down table. But this shot is not easy to come all the way down for the 3. He could go off the cushion first. The side, see, that's really hard to judge. And you can call that an error, which it is, but that's because the shot is just very difficult. And you can clearly see the frustration, because that was a really big chance to jump out of the gate 2-0.
Yeah, when a ball is over a pocket like that and there's a big distance for the cue ball to travel for position, it can be an illusion that it's a simple shot, as Niels has described. It's anything but.
Yeah, well said, Phil. He made good contact there with the 3 on a 2-row kick. Decided to give a little bit of speed. Roll his dice. Hope for a little bit of luck. And it's not the worst outcome, because as I see it from this angle, if they decide to go for this red 3, that 8-ball that's frozen there on the bottom rail is a massive ball to make contact with. So how are you going to get down for this pink 4-ball? That's what's on their mind. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're playing a safety, sending the 3-ball up and down the table, in between the 4 and 9 potentially, and trying to get the cue ball down table there. But it looks To me, like Fortuński's attacking this. Very hard to get that 8 ball out of your mind. And sometimes your subconscious brain says, yeah, we can avoid that 8. No problem. We just have to miss the ball. And that's what happened there.
And now the consequence, it's a real opportunity for Kuwait to double their lead.
Nice shot on the side. Judged the speed pretty well. Can go 1 rail off the bottom rail up towards the 5 into the line of position. And then it's a matter of personal preference if they want to come all the way down for the 6 in the side. I think it might be more wise to play the 6 here in the lower corner, but that's still a few shots away. Let's see what Bader decides. The angle on the next shot. Ooh, that's interesting. I thought he could follow that and come towards the 5. This is not a gimme, Phil. Because making the shot is one thing, that's no problem, but if he just rolls this in, he's got no shot on the 6. He has to play position for that green ball. So he has to put a lot of spin on this ball, which makes the pocketing much harder. He's got to put a good stroke into this. Wow. Look at the action on that ball.
I think that qualified as good. The early signs here, really positive for Kuwait.
Yeah, they look ready. Oh.
Well, quite simply, he struck the object ball on the incorrect side there.
Yeah, that was a great camera angle, actually. And just when we said they look ready, he has hit it on the wrong side of the ball. Golden opportunity for Poland to come back into this match. But look at this. Ooh, and Fortuński's a left-handed player, so there's no way he can reach this without grabbing the bridge.
I'm still trying to process the missed 6 ball. That was a horrendous shot, wasn't it?
The only thing I can say, Phil, in his defense, I played a shot with Mark. Not sure exactly in my match, and I could see the table rolling a little bit to the right side. Ooh, that was a great shot by Fortuński, shooting it right-handed, going all the way around the table, and he's hooked behind the 9. That was a massive shot, opposite-handed. The thing I just wanted to say is the table did have a slight roll to the right side coming from that angle. So maybe in his defense, with that speed, something happened. We can ask him after the match if that ball had a little twist or a turn on it. Still, he could have chosen to hit it a little bit firmer.
Attention, please.
Tough little jump shot here. You got to go all out. There's no defense here. It's make or break or get lucky. He went for the bank. And Shevczyk is going to have a shot in the side pocket on the 8. Lots of twists and turns, Phil, in this tournament already with all these racks. All the players are feeling it. A lot of unexpected high drama situations, and it's fascinating to watch. It's not standard break and run out pool. Things can happen every game.
That rack could have swung either way. In the end, it falls to Team Poland, and as a result of that, they've equalised. It is 1 rack each, and the man who potted the winning 9 ball there, Mieszko Fortuński, he and you, Niels, are tied together because he says the biggest disappointment of his career so far was losing in the Diamond Las Vegas Open final in 2019. He was in control, he said. He was in front, he let it slip through his hands, and he lost out to Niels Fine.
That's not how I remember it.
I thought you might say that.
Was he in front? I know. I was on the hill first, and I remember he had a tricky shot on the 7. 7, 8, 9 left to go 6, 6. So I think it was a race to 7, and he scratched on the 8. But I was on the hill first, so I got ball in hand on the 8.
This might be selective memory on his part. The actual wording is, biggest disappointment, being close to winning my first big international event, losing in the end to Niels Fire. I was leading and let it slip out of my hands.
All right, I'm going to have a word with him after this one. No, but he played really good in that event. And we had a great battle in the finals.
Track number 3.
Solid, strong player from Fortuński. Love his rhythm.
To break.
He's one of the most fluent players to come from Poland. Great stroke. And he gets a lot of action out of that break without any body movement. That's what always surprises me. Some players just have that. They have that speed in their arm where they don't have to do much with their body. I personally don't have that. I can't put in the same speed with a standing still motion. I have to put a little extra body movement in it, little dance. But he hits him real good just with his arm.
It's akin to those golfers who don't take the club back with any great ferocity and yet hit the ball a mile.
Yeah. Will he play for the 4-8 combo or draw it all the way back for the 4 in the side? Oh. Oh. I think he played for the combo, otherwise we would have seen some draw. And another twist and turn. Let's see the layout here. He does have a shot for the 3 to the right corner pocket as we see it on the screen now. Very tricky shot. Went for it full force. I believe he's left the shot. Hard to tell from this overhead. For these shots you always need that front angle. There we see it. Didn't leave a shot. He can go off the side rail here. And you can call what's called a mirror system. Let's see if he does that. Here, the distance from where you hit it to the rail and then out onto the wood. If you would draw a line there.
Attention, please.
Make the cue ball. Make that cue ball make a contact that point you just hit. And there's a spot on the rail you're going to cross into there. He hit way too thin. I'm curious if he even went for it, because he hit it so thin he might actually been playing safe, but interesting. Because he missed about half a ball to pocket it. Bader has to play a safety here also. I see 2 options. You can play the cue ball behind the 4, 3 ball to the left side rail, or go a couple of rails and come in between all those balls. Bit fortunate with the cue ball, but the 3 was hidden behind the 4 already. So good percentages, good speed. Still looks a little bit edgy. You know, Phil, these players, we've traveled from all over the world to play a race to 7 in the first round. And it means a lot to each and every player. So you can imagine
Foul. No
the
contact.
nerves and your body really stepping on it.
So ball in hand here after no contact made
Starts the clock,
on the
please.
red 3 ball. Also, Niels, it's not like the normal situation where you've got a whole host of tournaments to play in. Over the last year, your competitive opportunities have been very limited.
Yeah, good point, Phil. that you brought up there. I was lucky enough to play the Championship League pool, so I had 35 matches under my belt there, but you brought up a great point. A lot of players here are coming fresh out of the gate, over a year maybe not competing, at least not in these massive tournaments, the great Matchroom tournaments. So that is also something your body has to get used to again. That level of stress, arousal, that feeling, that jacked up feeling, getting ready for that match. And some players are handling it really well, and others just need a little extra time. And that time is something you don't really have in a race to 7. That was a nice shot. Beautiful touch on that ball.
Wasn't it just?
I think Omar's going to play this a little bit to the middle of the table. Wow. Give Bader some room to work with. I think he can go side rail, side rail. Cue ball to the middle of the table would be ideal. He has a lot of room here. So let his stroke out a little bit. Low left here. Nicely struck. Couple of nice shots there from Bader. That should give him some confidence. And this for 2-1.
Being a seed in this tournament is no guarantee of success. We've seen it already. The seeds have tumbled, and maybe Team Poland could be another, because Kuwait right now lead 2-1 in the early stages.
This World Cup of Pool is a logistical triumph, and representing the Middle East
Kuwait have made an encouraging start against Poland. They lead by 2 racks to 1.
Rack number 4. Our current score is 2-1 in favor of Kuwait. Kuwait to break.
So rack 4 begins, and in this winners break format, it's quite easy to get on a roll and build a very significant lead.
Yeah, big break here, Phil. See him lining up very low on the cue ball. That's because at the last second he knows his arm is going to come up a little bit, and he actually hits the ball with stun, like more of a stop shot. Tried to cut the balls a little bit. However, dry break, and I think the 1 passes to 2. So a great chance here for Poland to come back into this match. They haven't had a lot of opportunities yet. We haven't seen that much of them. Oh, that just dropped. With this table, you never know if that's going in or not with that corner.
Well, I was convinced it would catch that near jaw and stay up. So Fortuński will be relieved. Almost overcut that.
Yeah, great layout here though. They can basically make a stop shot on the pink 4. Connect the 5 in the opposite corner. The 6 also goes in that corner, and then it's all about getting a good angle on the brown 7 to try and get straight in on the 8 ball, and you're on the 9. So a great opportunity here for the boys. Nice stroke.
The key action of Fortuński, reminiscent to me of Rodney Morris.
Yeah, what a player he is. One of the greatest Mosconi players. Ton of passion, ton of heart, mental toughness, fire. Great player to watch, Rodney, right? All those years.
And a tremendous sense of humor as well.
Oh man, yeah. I have a small story, Phil. I got to share it with. Oh, wait a minute. We have to wait for that story because he really overcooked that ball, and this is not easy because again he can make this 7, he can cut it in, but how are you going to get on the 8? If you just pocket this ball, you're going to run into all kinds of trouble and maybe hitting the 9. So for people that think, well, just make the ball.
Attention,
yeah, but we
please.
got to play position for the next ball. So he's looking at maybe cutting it in and making contact with the 8 and bringing it into play. And that will also stop the speed of the cue ball somewhat. But you have to be very fortunate. Luckily, his name is Fortuński. Overcut it. But look here, look here. Oh, almost made it on the rebound. But that was a golden opportunity going to waste, and they will really be feeling that one.
I'm looking forward to your story, Niels, but tell us at the end of the rack.
Yep. Nice little touch. Perfect speed. 2 stop shots, and it's 3-1 for Kuwait. And that's going to hurt for Poland.
I like what I'm seeing here from Team Kuwait. Just like that, it is 3 racks to 1 for the team representing the Middle East.
Yeah, and another outside with the bookies is in control, 3-1 to Kuwait. And I'm absolutely delighted to say, joining me now is Darren Appleton of Great Britain C. Didn't even know that was going to happen, did you, Darren, this morning?
Amazing Great Britain C when you mention that. Yeah, I mean, had a 27 missed calls at 10:30 this morning. So panicking a little bit because I had to be here for 3 o'clock for the testing. So just a mad dash just to get here. I sort of lost hope in making the tournament because obviously, unfortunately for Canada, they had travel issues. So just very fortunate to be here. So just got a free roll at it with my old pal Cowboys.
Yeah, he can't wait. He pretends he can, but he wants to stay in the media side, but he is excited. Looking at this match just shows anything could happen in this tournament this year.
Yep, looked at this match before the match started, and the bookies had Poland as big favourites, but I thought this was a 50-50 match, and I think Kuwait are dark horses for this tournament, so don't rule these guys out going all the way.
Absolutely, and we've seen so many shocks so far. Austria going out, Spain went out earlier, the Italians were impressive, Lithuania weren't bad either, Germany just now, so it's been a great tournament so far. Yeah,
I mean, race to sevens, playing Scotch doubles, you're not just relying on yourself, you need your partner to perform as well, and I think there's a bit of edginess with the teams. I think been out of competition for a long time, so it adds even more nerves when you're playing in a team event compared to singles. And but I think as the event goes on, you're going to start seeing the cream come to the top.
Yeah, absolutely, a great point, Darren. Darren, stay with me. Want more of your insight. Back to the commentary now. 3-1 Kuwait.
Rack number 5.
Nice to hear from the Dazzler, who's a very shrewd operator.
Kuwait to break.
Yeah, always good to see Darren at a tournament. Ton of knowledge. We always called him Stato in the Mosconi Cup because he would know all the scores of every match ever played in the Mosconi, and he would even know the highlights. Oh, that 2-ball was a welcome one to go in. And look at this. They do have a shot on the 3, but once again they got to send the cue ball loose. Tricky shot, very hard to play position. I will just tell that story real quick now that Rodney said. I was warming up for a tournament once in Spain, playing the semi-final, and there's a bunch of guys watching, and Rodney's there, and I have my cue a little bit, or a lot, on the right side of my face, under my right eye, because my left eye is a lazy eye, so automatically it goes to the right one. And Rodney said, Niels, he said, what's it saying? What's it saying? I said, what do you mean? Your cue. You're listening to it, right? You're listening to it on the right side of my face. And all the people there cracked up, of course. He was one of those guys. He would have great one-liners and funny guy. So, Rodney, if you're hearing this, greets from Milton Keynes. Back to the match. They decided to play safe. Long distance. Poland just made an error on that last game, so this is a massive shot. If they can pull this one off, are they playing it in between the 4 and 5 backup table? Up again. Very nice. Ooh, little nudge there. Does he have a window? Hard to tell. Got 4 eyes there over the ball, and probably John Lehman's also, so that's 6. We're waiting for our shot. Because this could be massive. If they can hit this ball and do something productive, he can hit it straight in the face, if you ask me.
Extension, please.
So he has 2 options here, I think, Phil. If he wants to go all out, he could bank this ball in the low left corner. If he wants to play a little more conservative, he can put a little bit of spin on it and send it 2 rails around that 4 ball and back down table. Use the 5-8-9 as blockers, going for that bank. Look at this. Oh my word. Double banked it in the corner, and that is a dagger in the heart for Team Poland. I'll tell you that. Missed it by half a diamond. Went for a positive aggressive shot. You can call it a reward, but that's just full out luck. And this could be a runaway, Phil, for the beginning of this match. 4-1 in the making. What do you think?
Yeah, although that wasn't the most smooth cue delivery, was it, from Awadhi? He's achieved what he wanted to, but the cue ball was a little close to the side cushion, and it wasn't the best position on the 6 for Al Shaheen to obtain, but he's done it okay.
You're getting better at this, Phil. You saw that angle all the way from here. That was good insight. I didn't see that. You got to take my position. Time for a match. I thought he had a better angle than what he actually did. A little bit hard. It's probably going off the rail here. Shouldn't create much of a problem. A little bit of stun. You see one tip under the middle. Tip of right spin to get it away from that rail. Pretty well done. Boom.
Yeah, Omar Al Shaheen is not going to miss a 9-ball like that. And so Kuwait forge on this time into a 4-1 lead. It's been a miserable outing so far for Team Poland. We were talking about Mieszko Fortuński, his biggest disappointment, losing in Las Vegas to you. And when we talked to Wojciech Szewczyk and asked him for his biggest disappointment, he said also losing to you in the last 16 of the World 10-Ball Championship in 2019. Do you recall it?
Yeah, that was 4 days later after the match against Fortuński. We played 2 big tournaments. I was lucky to win the first one. Well, lucky, whatever, and played well. And then World 10-Ball got underway, and it was a massive tournament for the Dutch players, because if we reach the quarterfinals there, we get a subsidy from the Dutch government, a monthly subsidy, which is massive. And I played Szewczyk in the last 16. We go all the way to the wire, Phil. I believe it was 9-9 or 10-10. He hooks me on the 6. I jump it in, full length of the table, swing it around, run out, get my Olympic status. And because of Corona, instead of about a year that carries on, that got carried over for 18 months or more. So that was a massive jump. But I remember that match very well. It was a thriller all the way. These 2 guys in the chair, I still feel we're going to see something really good from them, because they're just too good to get shut out 7-1. They have made some mistakes, but they will settle down a little bit more, I believe. And I don't know, it just, there's something in the air that tells me they're going to make a comeback.
Well, my theory might be that they heard you were commentating, Niels, and it was a bad vibe.
That's ruthless. But they got to capitalize quick here, Phil. They can't be giving away any more of these chances to Kuwait, because they have shown us they've come to play. Nice shot there. Gives Fortuński a nice angle to draw all the way down. He has the perfect angle actually to draw to the right side of the 8, in between the 7-8. If he would have been any straighter, he would have to draw into the pink 4. So he's actually sitting pretty good. Let's see the cue action here. There's that nice stroke of Fortuński. He's got a bounce. Now, let's see the other overhead or the front camera to see if he can go around this 9. Looks like it. He's hitting this with high left. Let the spin carry the cue ball to the long rails. Got to be careful with this side pocket, Phil. Oh boy, he's behind the point. No shot. He snookered on this ball behind the point of the side pocket, and that again. Oh boy.
For the second time today, a cue ball hangs on the lip of one of those middle pockets.
Extension, please.
There's not much you can do here. You got to go 1 reel. The 4's frozen to the reel. You got to make contact. You got to play all luck here. You got no clue. You can say I'm going to hit either side. You might double hit it. This is time to make a blast. I think he's going to hit this with some speed, Phil. He's got to create something. No. Yeah, it's just one of those moments.
Foul, no contact.
Wow.
Start the clock, please.
It's never fun. It's never fun to see two of these great players struggling, because you know from seeing them on the Euro Tour and all these tournaments, they got so much game, and you're just waiting for them to break out of it. But so far, it hasn't been happening. Playing this off the bottom rail, kind of to where he is now. Bit too hard. Left Omar tricky little shot now. If he would have stayed around the line there that you see, he could have gone 2 rails towards the 7. Now he has to draw it straight back. Still nicely executed if he's not too straight. If he's straight in, ooh, Bader has to slow roll this or play the 8 in the opposite corner. Oh man, you gotta have nerves of a high diver with that one. And I don't think he got there all the way. He's got a shot, but he's got to go up and down the table, Phil. Still a little bit of suspense left.
Well, a dodgy back arm there, and that 7 could have easily missed the pocket. Now, can he make the journey here?
Cue ball. Beautiful shot by Omar. Very well executed. That cue ball can get away from you so easily there, Phil. You can find a corner pocket or land on top of the 9. He hit it about as good as you can hit a ball with the bridge there.
How about this? What a scoreline. The seeded team, the Poles, are in deep, deep trouble. They trail Kuwait by 5 racks to 1. starting off the evening session tomorrow, those two representing the USA on the left, Billy Thorpe on the right. It is Skylar Woodward. They take on Australia tomorrow evening. Both with mullets, and talking of which, there's our referee, John Lehman. It's Mullet Monday.
Rack number 7.
Oh, he actually
Our
threw
current
it in
score
there.
is 5-1 in favor of Kuwait. Kuwait to break.
It's getting pretty thin out there, Phil, for Team Poland. 5-1. They need this game desperately, and they are not the ones that are breaking. It's Kuwait. Again, using the cut break, and that's the only thing I'm not really thrilled about yet, Phil. I didn't see it work that well yet for their side. And again, it hasn't worked that great. I think they should give it a little more of a smack. Head on. Luckily, I wanted to say they've snookered Poland, but I'm seeing the wrong angle. I think he can just hit this ball. Boom. Okay, so they're off and running again. Let's see if they can snap out of this. Tricky shot to the side if he decides to go for that. Decision time for Fortuński. He makes this. Rack is wide open. Beautiful shot. Still some work to do from the 3 to the 4. Can he roll it forward past the 7? If he can't, he might have to go all the way to the right. Play the 4 in the right corner as such. Very well executed. Good touch on that one. That should give hope to the Polish fans back home.
Clock, please. Reset the clock, please.
Again, there's something going on with the clock. I've seen it on numerous of occasions now.
Yeah, a few rogue beeps coming out at the incorrect time.
That's one that has to go. That has to go, Phil. That's a bit too slow. Want it to be a little bit closer to the 7. Has to go deep into this corner now. Problem here is the cue ball's going to go towards the 7, which is always difficult to negotiate. Do you want to make contact with the 7 here? Do you want to go around it?
Extension, please.
The way I see it, they might have to go a couple of rails and go under the 6 for the 6 in the same corner as the 5. Or you have to take more of a risk and lay it close to that 7. Here's 1 rail, 2 rails, 3 rails under the 6. Ooh, not an easy shot for Fortuński.
Especially trailing 5-1. They've not got a great amount of leeway.
This is a tester, Phil. This is tough. You gotta jack up and play it slow. But if they make it, the rack is theirs. Made it. Very nice shot. A lot of pressure on that one. And I'll tell you, he's glad that one's over.
And with the winner break rule in operation, there's always hope. There's always hope, no matter how far you are behind.
Yeah, and Fortuński hammered the corner ball in with that head-on break. And I believe, is he breaking again or is it Shevczyk? We'll see in a minute. Because Fortuński broke him real well.
Yeah, so 5-2 and renewed hope for Team Poland. It has to be remembered that these two aren't here to make up the numbers. Poland in 2012 in the Philippines came very close to lifting the trophy. It was Karol Skawersky and Wojciech Szewczyk, runners-up to Finland, lost by 10 racks to 8. So they know what's required to go all the way.
Yeah, so Szewczyk has been in the finals, and that was actually, I think, his breakthrough tournament, because, to be honest, nobody really had heard from him before then. Poland went there, got to the finals. This was in the Philippines, correct? In that massive, massive venue with over 1,000 spectators. And that's one hell of a result. I don't know what Bader's sipping over there with that little drink bottle he's got. Some little green tea mystery, maybe. Szewczyk is breaking. So let's see if they can do some damage. If they can fire this corner ball infield, that's already a big start. Because they can have the initiative then. Even if they can't make the next ball, they could always play a good save. And that's with winner break a big thing. You can string some racks together by keeping your opponent in the chair, but you can also keep the initiative, maybe get another ball in hand, and that way you can also win 2, 3, 4 games quick on the trot. The biggest thing is be productive here. See that head-on break is working much better. Has a shot on the 1, but the 2 is on the same side of the table. He has to hit the 1 thin, which means the cue ball is going to get a lot of speed. He cannot hold it down table. So if he wants to go in an attacking way, I think he almost has to run into this 2, because I don't see a path for him to go up and down the table with that 9 ball, that green 6, the 8 ball. So maybe if you run into the 2, you can develop it. Oh, wow. That was a very nice touch. A little bit deceiving sometimes from our camera angle to see how thin or thick he actually has to hit it. But that was well struck. That should get Szewczyk a little more confidence. Good speed on that shot. That shows you that his touch is there. Draw this one back towards the middle of the table. In 9 ball, the middle of the table is so big. It comes up all the time. For aspiring players that don't know what to practice, the middle of the table is always a good zone to put in your workouts. A little bit personal preference with what you want to do with this. You can draw it back for the 7 in the top corner or go like this around it. Both shots you need good speed control. And this was nicely struck. Are we going to see another exciting match, Phil? This is for 5-3. And Fortuński breaking, and with this head-on break, this corner ball's flying in, and that tells me that this match has the potential of being a nice comeback game.
Well, let's not forget the nightcap last evening. Belgium were 5-1 up, lost 7-5 to Estonia. The Poles aren't back in it quite to that extent yet, but it is 5-3, and they definitely have renewed hope.
Yes, renewed hope indeed. Darren Appleton is still with me watching this game. Fascinating game now. Darren, tough now. Kuwait will be worried because they've really impressed so far, but Poles shown their class.
Yeah, it's been a great match, actually. I think Kuwait played really, really well to be 5-1, and Poland made a really big hout, made a big rack to go 5-2, and they've just broken run there to make it 5-3. And like I said to you in the break, win a break, this could go. The Kuwait guys are not guaranteed to come back to the table.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the betting bookies, but Kuwait, we're talking about underdogs, but they've been so good this match.
Yeah, I mean, Poland, I've only really seen them make one bad mistake, and they're losing 5-3, and Kuwait can play. So I had this match down as a 50-50 match, and I think we could see this go all the way.
Absolutely. Well, it's 5-3 now. Really enjoying it. A brilliant last match in what's been another fascinating day. We'll rejoin the commentary team. And Niels, I've told Darren you called him Stato, and he loved it.
Stato.
The man has a lot of knowledge. Darren
Our
Appleton.
current score is 5-3 in favor
Here we
of
go, guys.
Kuwait.
Watch this break.
Poland.
We're looking at this purple 5 ball. It's called the corner ball in 9 ball. And if that one flies into the corner, that means you're off and running. Boom. Look at this, guys. 1 ball. Oh, the 3. That's the biggest thing in this rack. The 3 is on the left side of the side pocket in a difficult position because the green 6 is also there. So if he wants to make this 3 ball, he has to land in between the 3 and 6. Now let's see the overhead camera here. I think he has to draw this back a little bit, get above the 2, so he can come a couple of rails. Yeah. Now he's gonna go 3 rails, draw, low right spin, short rail or bottom rail, side rail, and then to the other side rail. So he wants to land just above the green 6. That's his goal. He wants to make contact with the rail there and potentially come out a little bit. Otherwise, he has to shoot over the green 6. Here we go. Low right, 1. Oh. Ay, that one really got away from him, Phil. He didn't get into that enough.
Yeah, he actually almost overcut the 2 ball. Had he potted it into the middle of the pocket, he might have been where he wanted to be. Just caught it too thin.
Can he make it? Can we have a camera angle of this behind these boys? Can he make this ball in the corner? Because then there's still hope. If he has to play safe, then this is super tough.
Extension, please.
Oh boy, he can't make it, Phil. I just saw it. They got to play safe. And what do you do here? Man, you know what it is? If you make a little bit of a thick contact on this 3, you're going to get a double hit. You have no clue where both balls are going to go. If you had it thin, you got to go all out to go short rail, bottom rail, and come all the way back behind the 7, 8. Try to make contact with the 9. Maybe try to even make it. But there's no time. Here we go. 1. Watch the double hit. Oh! And the 7 passes the 9 now. Oh boy. That was massive for Poland.
In these race to 7s, when you 5-3 down, you know that your next mistake could be final jeopardy.
Tester though for Omar. These boys have been sitting in the chair and he's letting the clock run down. Saw a lot of body movement on that one. Think it would have been wiser there to use the extension because they didn't get much table time, and that was a massive shot. And he's kind of left Bader in a tough position here. He has to make a power draw shot with a lot of spin to get to the opposite side of the table. I think that was a little bit careless with the time. If he left him an angle there on the 6.
Extension, please.
Now they're using the extension. You see the angle there, Phil. He's totally straight in. He's got to cook this with, I think, right spin. From this angle. Boom. There's the spin. Wow. Look at this. Zip. That was a massive shot. That's the shot of the match for me so far. That was massive.
Niels, you don't get paid extra for sound effects. What a great shot, though.
And the momentum has swung right back to Kuwait. 6-3 in the making. And breaking to close it out. Ooh, Phil. Whoosh.
There is definitely tension in both of these arms now. It is 6-3 to Kuwait. That means the Kuwaitis find themselves on the hill against Team Poland. The evening commenced with Team Spain departing.
6-3 in favor of
Could
Kuwait.
another seed be about to tumble?
Kuwait to break on the hill.
The seeds in question, Team Poland, a potential 4 racks left. Poland need the lot.
But let's see the break, Phil, because Poland has been breaking much better. That's their only last hope. There, Bader started hitting them much harder. He said, you know what, the cut break isn't doing it. Little bit fortunate there, actually, because he lost the cue ball, which you can see here. The cue ball's going to slide forward. Put some spin on it. And he actually has a shot in the side. And he could be productive to get to the 3. From that position. Is he going to make contact with the 3? What is he going to do? No, he had a good angle. Very nice shot by Omar. Did you see his body movement there? There was none of it. He stayed so still. And that's really putting in a lot of quality on the shot.
And now Poland, Fortuński and Szewczyk will be fearing the worst.
Yes, and they did have some chances in the beginning of the match. Remember Szewczyk putting the cue ball behind the point of the side.
Attention, please.
The safety shot where they left the window. Kuwait got lucky there, banking the ball 2 rails in the corner. So it kind of slipped out of their hands. And they're looking good. Get this past the side pocket. A little low left. And this is a high ball with a touch of right spin, bringing it back to the same side where the cue ball is now. Again, past the side pocket and give Omar a nice shot on the 9. And what an upset again. 7-3. Oh, wait a minute here, Phil. Oof.
He's okay.
Yep.
Beda Al-Awadhi and Omar Al-Shaheen. Those two have put the cue in Q8. Fantastic stuff from the team representing the Middle East. The Poles came here as one of the fancy teams. They were the number 6 seed, but they were in the tournament, not anymore. Kuwait delighted to win by 7 racks to 3, and now they will provide the last 16 opposition for the mighty Germans. What a result to cap the day.
Great match by these boys. They played well.
What